Welcome back to another exciting plant video vlog for you guys. So for this week's video, I've been doing a lot of plant chores as I am currently inside most of the time. So there's basically all we could do is plant chores and updates right now, right? So I had this heart philodendron. During the summer it got big, it grew lush, it grew crazy. Once I got my new greenhouse, I transplanted in there and it was acclimating beautifully. It kept growing. Winter hit and then it went downhill. I'm going to show you a quick photo of how it was on screen now so you guys can see and admire the beauty. And right now I'm going to show you its current state. It is a little bit of a shocker, so be warned. This is the current state of my heart philodendron. Now, I tried to cut some of the stems and propagate them in water. That didn't work. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna go through them and give it a deep cut and maybe put some of these cuttings in a propagation box. There are some signs of life. I don't know if you guys could see there's something growing, and I noticed a couple of little sprouts too, so it's not dead, that I know for certain, but the state of it that it's in right now, I think it'll be much happier if I give it a good trim and fix her up a bit. So that's what this video is going to be doing, trying to rescue, let's call this a plant rescue video. So we're going to be rescuing this baby girl and hopefully I could have her come back to life. So let's get going. In a dramatic turn of events, after I recorded the intro to the video, I remembered that I had a water propagated cylinder with cuttings from the mother plant, and I checked it the other day and the water was disgusting, murky. There was mold growing on some of them, so I have forgotten to throw it out. So now after I recorded the main intro video, I remembered of it and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go throw it out before it gets worse. So I went upstairs, and when I took some of the cuttings out, to my surprise, some of them are actually rooting. So let me show you guys this right now. I didn't record or take a picture of how it looked before because it was nasty, but this is how it looks now. And you can see there that some of them are actually sprouting roots. Now, I kept, this was a really big bunch of sticks. But as time went on and as I kept cleaning them, I kept getting rid of the ones that would go bad, and now I'm left with these few that actually have something happening. So here's one of the first ones. It's very tiny, but we have them. And then we have this big one that is sprouting roots like crazy. So there is life in this plant, and I'm gonna get it back to how I had it. So let's continue on with the video. Alright, so we're on my desk right now. It's a little bit of a weird angle, but enough for you guys to be able to see the monstrosity that I will be working on. Mind you, and another reason why I really want to work on it is because I'm assuming the condition she's in, she is getting a lot of little fungus gnats. So I feel like by chopping her down, cleaning her up, I'll be able to get rid of them. So I have my little shears that I did douse in hydrogen peroxide a little bit. So I'm basically gonna cut her back as much as I can. So a lot of these stems do look worn out, so I'm gonna just like go through them and see which ones are the weaker ones and just, you know, cut them off. So this is definitely a goner. So I do have to be careful because I feel like some I can definitely save, like this one. Most of the stem is in bad shape, but this area here looks like it's okay. So I just have to be careful because there are some that are sprouting. So I have to be careful and look out for those, and be careful that I don't chop them up. So this one, the root system, and all came out. So. All right, so I cut a good amount of it. I think this needs to be thrown out because I think it's reached its peak. There's a lot of, I believe, root rot in here. There's a lot of fungus gnats in here. So I'm gonna throw this out, throw the branches that I cut off out. There are a few that I salvaged and some that have sproutings. So I'm gonna get a new pot and put them in fresh soil, and hopefully that works for them. So. Okay, so after examining the branches that I have left, I think the best thing I could do right now is to not put them in soil, but to put them in like a prop box. That way they'll be able to grow more root systems, because there are 3 grow points right now on the big stem that I showed earlier. So they're all, if I'm correct, growing from this one little root system here. And I think it's pretty weak, and I don't think it'll last that much longer. So I think I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna put everything in a prop box, and we're gonna hope for the best for these. I do have good news that the others survived, so I still have some if these fail, but I hope they'll be good. So now the prop box, I have my container here, and I have moist sphagnum moss here. Now I usually tend to have my sphagnum moss soaking, which I think that's an issue in itself, and why some of my propagations never really worked. So this is like lightly moist. It's enough to have moisture, but it's not soaking in water. So I'm just gonna dump this whole thing in here. So now it's covering the bottom. I am gonna remove some of the twigs looking things because I don't want that to catch like mold. And so bear with me a couple of minutes as I clean this. It's as clean as it's gonna get. So I am going to add perlite to this, as I have done a little research and I've seen on TikTok and Instagram that a lot of the plant community does mix sphagnum moss with perlite when they have their prop boxes. This is my first time actually doing a prop box, so this is kind of a 2-in-1 video. So it'll be a perfect time to test it out. So my sphagnum moss is ready. I'm gonna go grab my perlite right now, and I'll be right back. So I have my bag of perlite. I have my bag of perlite here. It is best to use a face mask every time you do work with perlite, because you don't want that dust to get into your face. Okay, so I have my face mask here. I'm gonna put it on. And now onto the perlite. So I'm just gonna grab like 1 or 2 handfuls of it. I'm gonna lower the camera a bit so you guys can see. Okay, I'm gonna mix this up to see if it's a good consistency that I like. I think I will add a little more, as I think I have a lot of sphagnum moths in here. Okay, so I think we have a good consistency now. I am gonna cut down the branch a little bit. So now I'm gonna cut the branch down a little bit just to have like smaller pieces, and we're gonna place it on the sphagnum moth. So just give me a second, I gotta wash my hands. All right, perfect guys. So now I am gonna work on the stems that I have available. I'm just examining them. So I believe this one isn't really working because you can tell here it's getting really like brownish. So that's on its way to just dying out, I believe. I'm going to leave this to the side. So this one's a little bit more greener, so I think this one would work. But then trailing down, these are getting a little brown as well. So I'm going to make the cut here. I'm gonna make the cut here. I'm gonna cut off these aerial roots that were from before. Cut this off. Okay, so we have one piece ready. So now this is the longer piece that has the actual sprouts on them. So I'm just gonna make cuts in the middle here, like so. I'm gonna cut these aerial roots off that are like dead, clean this up a bit, and then we have another ready to go. We'll do the same thing with this. Cut here in the middle, 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 and so forth. This was garbage. And this was the base root that I was mentioning earlier, but I think it's already, you can see here, it's breaking off. So I'm just gonna cut this off. Clean it up a bit. Okay. Clean this off a bit. Well, actually, I'm gonna leave that because that has some aerial, some new growth. This has some growth too. I don't know if you guys can see right there, it's coming out. So now we have our box, and I'm just basically gonna place them there lightly. I'm gonna place the growth face up so it could grow out, like so. So I'm gonna add them all in, and I'll show you guys a close-up in a bit. Alright, so here's a little close-up for you guys. They're sporadically spread out, with some of the nodes and new growth spread out, facing upwards. That way it'll grow out. So I'm gonna give this a little spray with my watering can. Just a little bit. So I did it enough to soak the top a bit, but it doesn't need much because the sphagnum moss is already a little bit moist. So now that I have my prop box ready, I'm gonna cover it with the lid. Now I specifically got this box in Target. It was about $3.50. So it closes like this, and it has a clear top, which is something I was looking for. So you guys can see that everything's inside. So now, like any good prop box, I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna leave it on one of my stations that has direct light on it. Probably the one that has my printer near it so it could get some good lighting. And I'm gonna try my best not to peek at it and just let it do its thing, and hopefully I get some good cuttings and props from this. So that's it for this video. Thanks for joining me. It was fun to be able to show you guys how my mind works and how quickly I think of things, and how things don't obviously go according to plan, because I didn't expect the plant to have some root rot, but it did. So I was able to get rid of what was bad, and hopefully this propagations work. If not, I still have my water propagations that are growing roots. So thank you so much for reaching the end of this video, if you did. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the little notifications. That way you guys get notified whenever I post new videos or new content. Like always, don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms that go by the same name, Pathological Liar. I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok and here on YouTube with you guys. I will give you guys updates on this on my other social media platforms, and then probably make another update YouTube video in about a month or 2 months, just to give it enough time to have some kind of reaction to it. So yeah, that's it for this video. Bye guys.